Hey folks, welcome to Guitar Daily. It's Nick Granville coming to you from Wellington, New Zealand. So I've got the microphone a little closer than I'd usually have because there's roadworks right outside my studio, which is just great. But that's how it goes. So today I thought I'd talk about some Hendrix stuff that I do. Hendrix was a big influence on me, still is. He's someone who I listen to a lot and I still continue to listen to. And every time I hear him, I hear something new in his playing. But these are 5 things that I use all the time, and especially on a blues gig, even like a rock gig, and even like a Christmas carols gig like I had yesterday. I was throwing this stuff in. So the first thing I'll talk about is putting the third in the bass. So the Wind Cries Mary thing, right? That, right? So instead of an E flat power chord, right, simple kind of chord, put the third on the bottom. And Hendrix did that a lot. Right. And the one thing I like to do with that is hammer onto that third. Which just gives you an inversion, but it's a really cool sound, right? And to me, it's a more powerful thing than just playing the bog standard power chord, right? It's a bit more color. So that's number one that I use a lot. Next one I'll talk about is like how Hendrix ends the solo to Wind Cries Mary, and it's this idea of going to the third again in the bass, but he plays it via a sus chord. This idea. So if we're E flat, we go sus chord. And I use it like that, hammer on up to the third, down to the ninth, and use that a lot to kind of with ideas. So if I have an E flat chord, fourth on the bottom to the third. It's another very Hendrixy thing, and he got this stuff from Curtis Mayfield, I believe. You can hear it in his playing, so it's pretty cool. Third thing, number 3. So if we take a G chord, leave the open G in the middle. We have G, G, D, and then put an A on the top. This chord. And depending on what key you're in, you can keep that G note pedaling through the whole thing. I use that all the time. I really like it, if it's appropriate for the key, of course. But you can also kind of go, like that's the Hendrixy thing, right, with the open G, but you could go resolve to a C triad. It won't work in that instance because you'll have a G sharp and a G, but it kind of sounds cool, and then it definitely sounds cool. That's cool. So some of them work and some not so much. It depends on the key, but that's another one that I kind of develop it and take it further. Number 4, taking the little finger thing. So I have if I have a minor 7 chord like this, I'll put the little finger on top of chords. So Hendrix did a lot of that kind of stuff. And so when I play a lot of voicings, chord voicings, I like to choose chords that I can keep that little finger free for that reason. So if I have something like this, or, right? And I don't necessarily play it the way Hendrix does it. I kind of do my own take on it, but it's that idea of little finger kind of trilling parts. You see that quite a bit now in kind of some neo-soul and Instagram guitar players doing it, but Hendrix was like the origin of that for me. And number 5, the last one, this is a big one, right? The sharp 9 chord, right? It's less of a lick and more of kind of a concept, right? So if we have this chord, right, everyone knows that from a Hendrix thing, right? The E7 sharp 9, so E, G sharp, D, G. So you have, it's got major and minor in it, right? The minor being the sharp 9. It's pretty cool sound. Now for that was the only way I knew how to play that chord for the longest time. And I thought, if I'm going to use this, I kind of need to know more, right? Because while that's useful, there's more, right? So I started exploring where else I could play that chord and make it work. And a couple of things came to mind. This, right? It's exactly the same voicing. But it sounds different on those set of strings, and that gives you some power, right? So I was going to go E7 sharp 9 to A7 sharp 9. Could do that, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. It would make more sense to go. Right, and the other inversion I came up with, which is exactly the same set of notes again, but on different set of strings, was... And that sounds really cool. It's kind of a fat, throaty sound. Right, so again, if I was going to go E7 to A7 sharp 9, could do that, or I could go... So I found, just by virtue of trying to find other ways to play the same chord, I came up with some new ones, right? Here's a crazy concept, right? Take something like, I know that chord there, the E7 sharp 9, and take, say, I don't know, the G sharp note, and put it on the top. In fact, I don't even need the E, because I could go... It takes on a totally different flavour. All I did was take that note and just jumped it up an octave. So you can see how taking the Hendrix chord, 7 sharp 9 chord, and kind of inverting it and moving it around and trying to find new places to play the same thing gets you a whole lot of new information in your playing. So I hope you found this useful. If you have, please like and please subscribe. The Buy Me a Coffee is linked below if you want to support what I do. I post every day here on YouTube, stuff just like this video where it's like guitar lesson stuff, but also demoing gear, pedals, guitars, amps, modeling equipment, whatever. I'll kind of show anything that I think is cool, and occasionally interviews and stuff like that. So yeah, if you've found this useful, please like and subscribe. Otherwise, if you already liked and you've already subscribed, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks very much. Cheers.